Okay.
It's going through the intro.
You saying online?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we should be back on and saying it's live. Well, let me wait in the comments.
Yeah.
Um,
5 seconds.
all right. Y'all let us know if the audio's good. The stream went down. Let us know if the audio's good. Y'all saying 10. Okay, so we could pick up and continue.
Man, that's a big delay, man. That's a huge delay.
What do you mean a huge delay
I reached up and grabbed that light. That was over 3 minutes ago.
and and what is it? All right, let me go on. Everybody online is saying it's good.
One, two, three. You heard me, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see how long it takes.
I counted 7 seconds. I could be wrong.
It's
Oh,
mine's still going.
yeah, that's a connect. That's your connectivity where you're at. Where
I have not folded my arms in the last minute.
so you're saying what you're seeing on StreamYard versus what you're seeing on YouTube?
Yes, it's I'm telling you, we're like minutes off. I'm just
Right. That's connect. Yeah, that's the connectivity. That's your internet connection. Cause I could go here on YouTube.
Did you hit the live button on your computer, Shep? The bottom of your screen?
yeah. I'm sitting here looking at it right now.
Uh,
I'm coming up on 2 minutes, waiting for I still don't see it yet. It's just way off, man. It's way off.
yeah, I'm gonna see what my speed is. Let me see.
Maybe we need to come out of this and then go back in.
Nah, it's that's just your connection, Pastor. Cause
My connection is a T1. This is pretty damn bad. I mean, it ain't no T.
Online, hey, Shep, online, mine is 6 seconds. It's like a 5 to 6 second delay from the last thing you said. Mine is 6 seconds. It's like a 5 to 6 second delay. That's even closer.
But you, nobody can make you listen jealous, but you. So you have to have complete control. That's the introduction. Control of your whole entire.
yeah, that's the other stream. We started another stream.
All right. Hmm. Shoot. Well, I don't know where we at. I guess you're going to do some give a radio check or something in the chat room because
Yeah, they said good. I did one when we started. I'll do another one. Y'all let me know how the audio and the video is in the chat.
I just I just ain't gonna look at that. I'm just gonna shut my phone down. Selena, do you have the show in there? Do you have the broadcast running in there right now? Can't hear you.
The stream's good. Everybody's saying it's good.
All right.
All right, so we could pick up Pastor Samir. I think you were still talking.
Yeah, just real briefly. I was just talking about something that's been on my mind the last few weeks about being thankful. And I think a lot of times we can find ourselves not being thankful as we should, and being thankful how it literally cancels out a lot of things that we deal with. Pastor had told us last week during Shabbat service about going back through these curses and meticulously going through them. And one, as I was reading this morning, again, but what always sticks out to me is Deuteronomy 28:47. And you see the list of the curses. And I mean, it's a lot that come right after this verse. Why? Because we didn't serve y'all with joyfulness and gladness of heart. And that's something that you can see Israel has always struggled with, which is giving thanks. And, you know, I can even just add this point to it. I was talking to the saints last Shabbat off of that dynamite message that Shep preached. And what came to my mind again was this. When you look at the 10 lepers, and the 10 lepers all cried out and asked Jesus to heal them. And our Messiah told them, go see the priest. And only one of them turned back to the high priest, Jesus, our Messiah, and gave thanks. Only one turned back. And also when Shep brought out Deuteronomy 8:10 last week as well, which, again, giving thanks. Why? Because we have a tendency that when Yah blesses us, Yah provides for us, we have a tendency not to give thanks. That's why when you look at Deuteronomy 8:10, thanking the Most High after your belly is filled is so key. You know, so that's just what's been on my mind the last couple of weeks. But like I said, I'm very excited to go through this broadcast tonight and see wherever the Holy Spirit leads.
All right. Pastor, do you want me to go with the questions and stuff we had, or did you have something?
No, go with the questions that you got.
Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna watch a video, and then I'm gonna have the pastors just drop some wisdom on what's going on in the video, and we're gonna discuss that. So with that, go ahead and play the video.
What happened to this wheel?
I don't know, find a straight one. It's okay. Suck it up. Hey, suck it up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. That's how you do it, buddy. Good job.
All right, so just want to go to the pastors and have y'all drop wisdom about that video, what you saw in it, and I hand it over to you.
That's good leadership. That's good fathership right there, because the father is obviously has already done taught the young boy or the young son how to properly hammer nails. And of course, he, like all of us have had, make the mistake and we end up injuring ourselves. And the first thing we want to do is start crying, start hollering, start talking about the pain instead of finishing the mission or the job. So the father was laser focused and kept him on point. Look, keep going. I understand your thumb hurt, your finger hurts, or whatever it is that hurts. But we're here to get this nail driven in. All right. This is no time to be crying about our injuries, no time to be crying about our feelings, feeling this stuff. Let's get this nail done. And at the end of it, good congratulations. And of course, the young boy probably forgot all about the pain by the time he got the nail in and stuff, because he has succeeded. He has succeeded and not let anything waver him or mess his attention up. His father kept him on point. It'll teach him. And that's a very good father right there, because that's the whole meaning of life right there, is to keep people focused at the task and the mission at hand, and to not get distracted by things that cause pain, by things that cause suffering, even self-affliction. Stay the course. Keep your eyes straight. Let it be single. Keep it on the kingdom. That's how I interpret that.
Hallelujah. I mean, everything Pastor Dow just said. I mean, first thing I thought about when I first saw that video just now is I said, man, I could be doing better. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Seeing this young man out there nailing that nail, and obviously you can hear his father's voice in the background, but also just the time that's spent with the young man. I mean, those are things that you won't forget, man. I think about, there's probably about maybe I would say 5, 6 memories that always come to my mind that I had with my father. Whether it was outside doing some type of yard work, whether I was watching him up underneath the car doing something, or times I even watched my father cook food. At times I've seen him do so many different things, but there's about 5, 6 memories that always come to mind, and you never know which one is going to stick with you, obviously, until you get older. I give the example many times of when I saw my father crying out in his office one day and praying, and he didn't even know I was there. But because I saw him do that, that answers so much for me as a grown man, because I know what to do and how to go to the Father because of it. So just seeing that video is exactly what Pastor Dow said. You're seeing a very good father who's taking the time to spend it. I mean, just taking some nails and a hammer and a board that you don't need and just saying, look, just get out there and teach him how to hammer a nail, in there is extremely important. I mean, like I said at the beginning, that right there, just looking at that said, okay, I see where I can be better at. It's just those simple things. So I definitely am appreciative of that video there. Hallelujah.
Also, it's a very good thing that his mama wasn't there, because if his mama was there, she would have doctored him. She would have picked him up and see how the little wound was going and everything else. And he's learning as a son how to be a man one day at a very early age. So this man is to be commended. And I'm not saying, because that is the nurturing spirit of a woman. I'm not downplaying what a woman is. That's her nature. That's her character. She hardwired that way. But I'm glad to see that the son is of age where he's around his father and not around his mother, learning how to wash clothes and clean house and dishes and everything else, if you understand what I mean. And those are not by any stretch of an imagination menial task. Just today, if I'm doing something out on the land and my sons have never had the experience or they never saw it, I make sure I get a hold of their mothers and say, get them up here and let them just look so they can see what's going on. And I son 1, 1, 2, and 1, 5. And I'm telling you, man, when they see these heavy equipment fired up and they see it running, it's one thing to see it running, but it's another thing to see it in operation. And man, they get so elated and so excited about it. They just love that stuff. And so I'm teaching my sons at a very young age man stuff, what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life and in the kingdom. It just don't stop here. The building is still going to keep going in the kingdom. And I let them have their time with their mother and stuff like that, but the rearing and raising of them is solely up to the father. Michael Israel.
All right, that was good. That was good. And you know, one of the things in this society, you know, there's an epidemic of men who've been raised in feminized environments. It's a feminized society, and it caused a lot of men to be timid. And I know a lot of men are drawn to this ministry because they see it as a beacon of light or the last beacon of light of real masculinity. One of the things, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, pastors, is what can men do to overcome timidity? So men who haven't been raised with like a father, like what you saw in the video we watched. And the definition for y'all, for those of you who might not know, the definition of timidity is, or timid, means feeling or showing a lack of courage, confidence, or boldness. So want to ask the pastors, what can men do to overcome that? What does that look like?
You know, I hear a lot of times about how that, of course, this is society today. Bunch of dysfunctional homes. The father is simply just not there in the home, and if he is in the home, he's not in his role. He's either become emasculated and feminized with the feminine movement with the women, and he's become a shell of a man. But when men are grown, I don't understand. When you're growing up and you don't have a father in the house, the streets become your father. When you're growing up, you don't have a father in the house and you come into the faith, then your elders and your pastors and your leaders, they become your fathers. So I don't understand why we divorce and we forget ourselves of the maturation periods and the things that we go through in life. And then some things we just flat out overlook. I do believe that I have the answer to it, though. But anytime you talk about being timid, the first scripture that comes up in my mind, and whenever Jesus is talking, that scripture. So in Revelation 21:8, he says, but the fearful, let me read 7 first. He said, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. But what do you have to do first in order to inherit? Well, you've got to be an overcomer. You can't sit up and cry. You can't sit up and wish that things were. You got to drive on. You got to stay focused. But he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his Elohim, and he shall be my son. Then it goes on to say, but the fearful, the timid, and the unbelieving. You know, some people are so full of fear. They're so full of fear that fear of failure grips them and it paralyzes them to the point that they don't even want to try to see if they're going to succeed or fail. And it's bad, it's sad. Yahshua is clearly telling us that the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers, sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, they're going to have their part in the lake which burning with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So you don't want this character to be any part of you in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And of course, you all know that we live in a matriarchal feminist world and society. World and society. There's very few real men that are actually left here on this earth. Everything that we do today, everything we think is all about, you watch people, it's like robotic. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about this? And how do you feel? Everything's about feelings, and feelings ain't got a damn thing to do with it. It should be the end goal. What is the mission? What is the task at hand? And what do I need to do to accomplish? And let me listen to everyone that's going to help me accomplish that mission, rather than people throwing roadblocks up in front of me, telling me that I can't do this and I can't do that, and we can't accomplish this and can't accomplish that. And of course, by the time, you can't blame men today for being so timid, because if they're in a dysfunctional household where the woman, mother, or sisters are the head in the family, and they're in the family and they're overwhelmingly got the biggest voice, they're going to go out there and learn how to be punks and everything else in the streets and get ran over even more so by men. And so, but when you come into the faith, you have no more excuses, because the Most High made sure that straightway is a beacon of light of patriarchal and patriarchy in this end time generation. I can't speak for other ministries. I'm not here to speak for other ministers. I'm here to speak about what y'all is doing with us. And we raise and we rear sons to become men. Pastor Muir.
You know, just this morning when I was down in my office reading, I got a call from my sister. And throughout the conversation, she said to me, where can I find prophets or men of Yah today? She said that are warriors.
You just got finished talking to one.
She said that are warriors. She said, because when I read, she's constantly seeing Abraham, she's seeing David, she's seeing all these different men in the scriptures that were warriors, they were not timid. She just asked me this morning. I think that, I mean, when she was explaining it to me, of course, you already know what was in my mind, this ministry itself. And a lot of people may have things that they want to say and whatnot, but if we're just being truthful and we're being honest and past this feelings and emotions driven society, a lot of men came to this ministry and learned to become men. That's just the truth. And folk can say what they want. You know, usually when somebody is knee deep in their pride and in their haughtiness and in their offense, they'll turn around and they'll make statements like, I was doing this before, or, you know, I knew this before I came to this ministry, and all of those things. But the fact is if you learn one thing in this ministry to help you become better as a man, then that's you don't understand the value in that. And that's just the flat out truth. That's just the flat out truth, period. I think that I really like where you went with it too, Brother Mike, where you defined it. I went to the 1828 and it says, somebody's timid or timidity, it's fearfulness, want of courage or boldness to face danger, habitual cowardness. Timidity in one person may be a good trait of character, while in another it is a deep reproach. When I read that and I consider what it says, there's a deep disgrace. Pastor went to Revelation 21:8. Obviously, we all know 2 Timothy 1:7, where it says Yahweh did not give us what? The spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Okay? Read Matthew 8, verse 26. Go ahead, teacher.
And he said unto them, why are you fearful, O ye of little faith?
Now, consider what was going on at this time. This is when the storm was happening and they were on the boat and Messiah was asleep. Okay? Now, I want y'all to see the difference, because if you're on a boat, right, and you see that it's starting to fill up with water, what are you going to do? You're going to be doing everything you can to get the water up out of that boat. But there's two different mindsets that you can have at that point. You can have one that is full of fear that cripples you, as Pastor Dow spoke of, one that you don't want to move. You ever seen people get what's the word they use? Shell shocked, or they freeze in times of danger. And you can begin to murmur and complain, or you can be one that lets nothing but the word of Yah come out of your mouth as you're doing the same thing that somebody else is doing by letting fear come out of their mouth. Everybody at that point is trying to get this water out of the boat. But let's just be honest. When you're around somebody who you could be doing the same work, you could be doing the same anything, whatever the task is, whatever the situation is. But if it's in your mouth to speak what is good, what is right, the outcome that you desire, okay, not being timid, not being full of fear, that is what is important. You see? Read 1 Corinthians 6:9.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
Okay, so when Pastor speaks about this society out here today, when men are not in the home, this society literally in this country, especially to the melanated man, does nothing but try to destroy good homes. Okay. And what ends up happening? You end up seeing effeminate young men who act out in their emotions constantly, because I don't care how big, bad, and tough you may think you are. If you can't calm your emotion and actually be able to think through a situation, not only will it cost you, but if you're one that is constantly, I'm not saying that people haven't made mistakes. I'm pretty sure we can all say there's a time where I could have handled the situation better, right? But if that is your constant MO, to just act out and you're feeling emotion, that's because you're effeminate. That's because you're soft. If it always goes to fighting or words of fighting and lashing out, that's because you're effeminate. That's because you're soft. That's usually really a fearful man. The one who's sitting around talking about what they're going to do, this, that, and the third, that's usually a fearful person.
Say it again.
Like straight up. That's usually a very, very fearful person. We can walk down the same street, and if I see a dog inside his fenced yard barking and barking and barking as you walk by, but if I keep walking down the same street and I see another dog in his fence and he ain't barking, but he just steady looking at you as you walk by, chances are I'm not going into that fence with the one that's not barking, because he ain't got to let you understand that I'm here. I see you. You see? And this is what we don't understand a lot of times. So to answer the question, because it's a really good question, because it should make us to really, really think. If you know me, I'm always going to say what? Look at yourself first. Look at yourself. Where are you being shy, nervous, lacking self-assurance? Where are you not courageous in? When the book tells you that, be strong and of good courage. Yahweh, your Elohim is with you. See, these are things that we have to know and then move in it. That's the only way that you're going to move in faith. Because in his faith, because anything else after that is going to be unbelief. And without faith, it's impossible to please him. See? But to answer your question, what can a man do to overcome it? Obviously, there's prayer, there's deliverance. But here's the main thing. It's your training. It's your practice. It's your repetitions. Okay? These are the things that you're going to fall to. If you're a person that does nothing but murmur, complain, gripe, freeze up, and don't move, when shit get hot, that's exactly what you're going to do. Murmur, complain, gripe, freeze up, and not move. But if you're a person that has worked it over and over and over and over, whatever the situation is, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fall to that. Because there's a time that comes up where you're going to have to react. And it can't be you sitting there thinking. because sitting around thinking will freeze you up too, opposed to you just fall to something because you've done it so many times. You know, this is very, very key, but it's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. This is the way to overcome being timid, is constant repetition. It's something that is good, something that is valuable. Hallelujah.
Let me give you an example about what you said, Shep. I'm gonna give a real-time example that happened today. We've got probably maybe 3 of us that are really, really excellent heavy equipment operators. I mean, really good. And everybody knows, y'all know that hill that where we slide down every winter, and that hill where the house is, right? So I'm working on that today. So what I'm working on is I'm working on putting a retaining wall midway of that hill. Midway and then upwards a little bit. Are you following me? Now, before you do that, you full well know that you're getting ready to do an extremely dangerous job. Why is that? Well, because first you got to start with the backhoe. I take the backhoe, and mind you, look, I'm like this on the backhoe, backing down the hill. I have my outriggers out. I wait till I got to a certain point, get the outriggers out. I inch my way down because I am at it's a very serious incline, if you understand what I mean. And when I put my outriggers down, and I go ahead and I start digging out a spot. I'm trying to make me a big flat spot so that I can get the skid steer down in there and then start cutting midway, long ways, the length of the house and the side of the hill. Does that make sense? So I did that. I got in the backhoe again. I came back up, and I went up, set the outriggers down a little more. And then all of a sudden, mind you, I'm on an incline. The backhoe starts going down towards the pond. Now, if I was fearful, did I experience fear? Yes. Was he there? Faithful as never. But guess what is also there? I know how to operate this thing. I know how to troubleshoot this thing. So as soon as it starts sliding, going down, and it literally starts sliding, going down this steep incline, I actually put more outrigger, and then I reached over and hit the emergency brake. And it stopped immediately, just like that. Are you going to keep your senses about you in the time of testing and trial? Or are you going to lose your resolve, get into your emotions, throw up your hands, and just allow the backhoe go down the bottom of the hill, jump out of it, and who knows what, and crash a $20,000 or $40,000 machine? That's your options at that time. It's where experience come in. Anybody know what I just got finished saying? And nobody on the land knew that was happening today. I just spoke it here tonight. It's the first time anybody ever even knew. It's a dangerous job when you're on an incline on the side of a hill like that, man. You don't never know what could happen. Brother Bud says, yeah, we're on the side of this hill and everything and stuff. Yes, you are. But hey, this skid steer has every potential in the world to flip because of what we're doing. So I'm grading it out. I'm gradually, as I go back up the hill, I'm making sure that with a full bucket of dirt, that I made sure that the elevation is not as steep as I continue to keep working around. I may put it on Patreon and let y'all see some of it. But I just got finished speaking a mouthful, and you got to learn how to approach life the exact same way. Pastor Mir.
That's so good what you said, Shep, because I was looking at this a little earlier. If you look at, we'll take the 2 Greek definitions, right? You have fearful, which is G 5399, right? That's to be frightened. So as Pastor just explained, you that's a big old piece of machinery, and that's a steep incline. And for that thing to start going backwards when you don't intend it, it's going to frighten you. It's going to startle you. But then automatically he can fall to his training because he's done it. You see, opposed to seeing somebody. I see it all the time. I get on the highway, and let me see how I say this. I get on the highway and I see women driving, right? I was gonna say certain nationalities, but I get on the highway and I see women driving. If something was to happen with a little swerve or something and they panic, most of them, they'll take their hands off the wheel, they'll cover their face to do something, which what? Because something startled them, but then they froze up in the time. Opposed to no, you grabbing that wheel and you maneuvering, especially out here in Indiana when it getting the snow. Most people don't know you get the slide and you better turn into where you slide. Most people go the opposite way or panic or lose the wheel and then it's over with. See, these things are things that it's constantly. And then you see G1169, which is what? Fearful or fear, which is what? Dread or timid. You see? So understanding between the two is very, very key. And that's a really, really good example what Shep just brought out there. And that ain't no joke either, Shep. But back home on that steep incline, that's serious. Hallelujah.
All right. So one of the things, and Pastor, you actually taught on this, you taught on wavering and not wavering, and you actually broke down what wavering is. You gave a good example. You were saying, okay, you're doing something each day, and then one day you don't do it for whatever reason, you've wavered. And I wanted y'all to talk about the importance of not wavering, staying consistent. Pastor, one of the biggest things you've stayed consistent with is just your walk, as far as sticking to your plan over the long term. Just being around you, there's a lot of things I've just seen you be long term consistent in. The biggest, of course, is the community, going through difficult situations. But what I wanted y'all to talk about is the importance of not wavering. One of the things, just listening to what y'all have already taught and said, I know not wavering is gonna help people to not be timid, because they go against each other kind of. And then also talk about what are some of the things that cause people to waver, if you could. So with that, I hand it back over to you.
Well, an unstable person of an unstable mind, instability comes because of lack of experience. Because once you're familiar with any territory, I don't care what it is, you can no longer say that you are inexperienced, but you are experienced. One of the passages I've been using, even in the faith messages, is over in James, the 1st chapter, when it says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yah. They give it to all men liberally, upbraid him not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in what? Faith with what? Nothing wavering. Everything you see me doing today, I tell people over and over and over again, I just didn't make this stuff off my mind. I didn't. I read the scriptures. I read the prophets. I read what Jesus said. I followed what the apostles did. That's all I did. And even that, it takes faith. And I've been determined to see it through. And I'm sitting up there watching a bunch of fearful situations coming up on this earth right now, especially in the United States of America. Not only are they talking about taking away SNAP benefits, I mean EB, or they call it Section 8 benefits, but they are now talking about taking away EBT or SNAP benefits, or where you get food stamps. So now you got housing and food stamps. Watch this. You don't think there's going to be fear, doubt, uncertainty, unbelief? Oh, watch this. What did the Father promise you? He promised you that if you followed him in this regeneration, you'll be like a tree planted by the riverside. You won't even be moved. You won't be moved at all. I don't care what's going on in the world. Back over here to finish James real quick. It says, let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavered is like a wave of a sea driven with every wind and toss. So let me go a little bit of doctrine here. So we notice that every single time you turn around, there's this innate ability where we actually think that we're fighting against flesh and blood. Even that in itself is a temptation to cause us to waver from the course that we're on. Rather than fighting with the weapons of our warfare that are not carnal, we end up succumbing to the same old flesh, and we forget about the script, what Paul said. Oh, let me go over in Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the ruler of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So a lot of times when people are reviling you, saying all manner of evil against you falsely, lying on you, just flat out. I mean, listen, the temptation is to defend your flesh. Well, how can you defend something that should be practicing dying daily? It's just another temptation to get you to waver from the course, but you need the knowledge to know that we're wrestling not against flesh and blood. There's some demonic spirits behind these people that are motivating them, and they've succumbed to them. They've given over to them. So this particular question you can hit in so many different areas and so many different factions of life. You just literally can do it. What everyone needs to learn is what causes you or tempts you to be tossed, to waver. It's really not one just solid answer to say, well, this causes you waver. There's too many categories. I just gave a few of them. The ideal is stick with the word. The ideal to stick with what's solid. Stick with what we know to be the foundation. The ideal is to follow Jesus. And everything that he said and everything that he did, follow him. And everything will take care of itself. So we fight naturally, we fight spiritually. But wavering always is associated with a person that is double-minded. Double-minded means you have two different thought patterns. You got two different spirits that you're operating after. And it depends on which one you choose to operate after. Depends on the test, the trial, or the temptation. Now comes in spiritual maturity. Now comes in everything that you have been on this battlefield for all these years to see if you are really, truly ready to be an experienced, seasoned, expert soldier. And you can't be sitting up here because you in a hot environment or you getting ready to go through a hot extraction, and then you turn around and you waver and go back to like you were in boot camp, fearful and everything else, or in jump school. I'm associated with the military, to where the first thing you do is you just fearful and you're fearful the whole damn 9 yards. You have been in this long enough. You're experienced long enough. You're seasoned long enough that you should never, ever, ever falter, waver, or fall because of your experience. Pastor Muir.
Man, Shep, that's so good on a myriad of reasons. This is another really good question. What causes people to waver? Shep just said it. Double-minded. When somebody is double-minded, it's because they're serving two masters. You serving two masters, that's full-fledged adultery. You obeying two different voices. You see, when you looking at what causes people to waver, it's unbelief. It's flat out unbelief. Now, what can drive unbelief in a person's life? Not doing what you're instructed. Because if you do what the Most High instructs you to do in His Word, you're going to see the results. Because the Word said that His Word, He said that His Word will not come back void. So you're going to see results for performing His Word, which also reassures you and Him that you love Him because you're obeying Him by your action. You see? So what can drive away somebody wavering? Spending time with Jesus. That can take away, right? Because what is it going to do? It's going to lead you to obedience. And when you're obedient, as I just said, you don't have time. When you have your mind focused on doing what you're told, you don't have time to believe the other side, the alternative, rather than busying yourself with the goal, with the mission, with the task that is at hand. And then who are you doing it for? This is for your own soul salvation. And this is for the young ones that's coming up behind you. This is for your households. This is for your sons and your daughters. I wrote down here another reason what causes people to waver is because they got backup plans. They still got ways to go back. They still have something to fall to. You see? Let me tell y'all something. I ain't got nothing to fall to besides the defeat of Jesus. And I know what His Word said, and His Word said do what we doing right here. Period, point blank. But what ends up happening is when you got a backup plan, when you still got a bridge somewhere that you can fall to, at the first sign of adversity, guess what you're going to do? You're going to take that out. You're going to take that out every single time. It's just like if you got an alcoholic. If you got an alcoholic who's trying to stop drinking, you're not going to he's not going to have a bottle sitting in his house. Because at the first sign of temptation, he's going to go drink that bottle. And we see this stuff constantly, and it's like we don't know these things. Let me say it this way. We do know them, but we're not acting upon these things. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this because Pastor answered it flat out. It's either this, man. It's either his faith, his faithfulness, like we learned last week in Shabbat, or his fearfulness. One's going to lead to life, one leads to death. We got to stop thinking that there's a middle ground. The book tells you that every day that you are to do what? Choose life. Choose you this day who you're going to serve. That is your job. That is what you're supposed to do. You're going to make a choice every single day if you're going to be faithful or you're going to be fearful. That's a choice. And one is life and one is death. And every day it must be chosen. Every single day it must be chosen. And throughout the day when you find yourself, because it's easy to decree and declare something. It's easy to turn around and begin to do something. And then what do you do? As soon as you decree and declare what you're going to do, what does your enemy do? Come try to get you to make that void. By what? Your mouth. Because he knows that life and death is in the power of your tongue. So he puts something on your mind. And the first thing he does after that is try to get you to speak it. So you can cancel out the very same thing that you decree and declare earlier. We got to watch what we do and watch what we say, man. Pastor, I don't really have anything else too much on that. You knocked that one straight out the park.
All right. So I want to go into another question that just kind of popped in my head while both of y'all were talking, and that is, um, how much energy should saints put into um, into trying to get people to understand things or something, or change some type of behavior? Because sometimes people, they'll act like they're receiving it, or there's a multitude of things that can drive that. But what I wanted wisdom on from both of y'all is, how much energy should we as saints pump in to trying to help somebody or work with somebody to get it? And for particularly for you, Pastor Dow, over the years, how has that changed? Like early on, how were you with stuff like that? And then all the way up to now, where your wisdom is at now on that. And just what are the signs that people are getting it and they're moving along, versus that maybe it's a stall tactic or whatever the reason they're not getting it. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. I know I rambled a little bit, but I hand it over to you.
No, you don't give them zero time. Period. I mean, I don't understand, man. Listen. I'm gonna use the best example that there ever was and ever will be. And when he speaks and when he spoke, it was past, present, and future. Jesus said the sower went forth to sow. So you got the words of eternal life in you. You're telling them exactly what needs to transpire, what needs to take place. Use your discernment to find out and see what type of ground is the seed falling on. Don't sit up and waste all your time trying to preach and teach to someone that y'all ain't even dealing with. I mean, you don't remember your experience? Don't you remember the day of your enlightenment? Don't you remember the day when the Holy Spirit was dealing with you? How no matter where you went, no matter where you go, you could run, but you could not hide. No matter what, you couldn't hide. You are going to answer that call. Anyway, pass him here.
Hey, you know what's funny, Shep? Hey, bro, Michael Israel was asking that question. And I flipped my paper over and I wrote one word, big as I don't know what, through the whole paper. I know y'all can't see it, but what that word say right there?
None.
None. They're going to answer to your question. Unless you want just had a bunch of gray hair and stress to your life. I was looking at a picture from 3 years ago. I ain't had no gray hair. You see, when you look, hey, which I'm learning too, because that's what happened on Shabbat. That's what happened during broadcasts like this. You preach, you teach, and you show people what this word is saying. And then at that point, you wait to see if somebody gonna do it. But you will stress yourself out trying to get somebody to understand something. And just like Shep said, it didn't take a bunch of convincing. When I heard this word for the first time, when understanding came, nobody had to convince me anything. It didn't take somebody to turn around and be like, man, you got to do this and this and this and this. When I heard, come out of her, and then I saw an example of people that have come out, it didn't take convincing. It's literally that simple. I saw what was happening out here in this world. I was in the high school when I first retired, helped coaching. You see? I saw what was taking place with young people. I said, man, I don't want my sons in this mess. But I didn't have the answer. Then all of a sudden, Yah's word. Then I see a man preaching it. Then I see a people living it. What else do you need? What other convincing do you need? You know, it's ridiculous. And see, that's the problem. The book says, do not cast your pearls before swine, and that which is holy unto dogs. At the end of the day, what more convincing do you really need? But you see, that's the problem. The problem is we think that I got to sit up and preach and teach everybody. No, let your pastors do the preaching. Let your elders and your teachers and your deacons do the preaching. But the real way that you show somebody is by your own life, because that's what only matters in the first place. People can say what they want. People can say what they want. At the end of the day, people are going to look at what you have done, whether they want to say it or not. They can gripe, they can complain, they can murmur, they can slander, they can gossip, they can do and they can threaten, they can do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, people are going to look at what you have done, because a shaking is already here and a shaking is coming. And what you have built, will it be able to stand or not? Because one is going to be built on the rock and the rest ain't. And there's only going to be one that's going to survive. And this is what it is at the end of the day. Romans 14:5. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike. But look what this says. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. That's all it is right there. I make the statement all the time. I'm not about to beg people to serve Yah, man. I'm just not. It vexes you.
Yeah.
It drives you up a wall. You sitting there running around trying to get folks to understand something for what? For what? What is that going to do? But except stress you out. You see? It's the same thing in the homes. If you a mother in the homes and you're dealing with sons and daughters, and you constantly trying to get them to see something, do they usually see it? Or when discipline comes, then they usually see it, right? When pain comes, then they usually see it, right? You're going to learn obedience by the things you suffer. It's the same thing with a husband and a wife. You can be that husband and sit around and try to tell your wife every single thing, what they're doing, and want to sit around and explain and do this. But it's sometimes, man, when you got to look at you and be like, look, I done told you this over and over and over again. It is what it is. And you're going to learn. It's literally that simple, man. And then on the flip side, it does a very good thing too, because the ones around that see, just like the word says, they're gonna hear and they're gonna fear. And that's what we don't like either. We say we love the Most High, but we hate his judgments. We hate his judgments. But his judgments gonna teach, they meant to teach, to get you to fear. Oh man, I'm done. I hope that helps somebody.
All right. We went through. That was all the questions. We went through them all. Did y'all have anything else to add?
Well, I mean, one of the questions was that the one I read, maybe I got the wrong ones, was
Oh yeah,
turn out differently.
Go ahead. So based on Pastor, you did a video this week, and you were talking about being nice versus being righteous, and the difference. So the question on that was, how do things turn out different when you focus on being nice versus being righteous? So that was the question. So I'll turn it over to y'all.
Okay, so this is where the broadcast in itself, we're on point, but we're going to take a little detour and be on point and then come back on point again. When I actually framed that question right there, and when I spoke about it on Shabbat, that's because I saw another video. I saw another video that what the man was saying was so profound, I just copied and pasted and put it on Patreon because there's nothing else I could have added to it. Because he spoke so well. He did such a good job. And that's another thing. I'm not like people out here that they will hear something profound from someone else. I don't mind giving credit to where credit due, because the bottom line is all credit goes to the Most High Yah, because he's trying to get the word out to his people by any way, shape, fashion, or form. But this question in itself, it has to do with the very function of our society. I'm not talking about American society. I'm talking about Israelite society. All right? Because we are watching our society erode, even more so as we approach the end day. And what's happening? The same thing has happened from the beginning. The woman. Yeah, the wicked woman. Now, if you're not a wicked woman, it don't apply to you, then do it. But everything that I say, if the shoe fit, wear it, because it is the woman. Today, we got women out here. Listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this right now, and I hope that every Israelite woman will please hear what I am saying. If I can get everybody, if you're listening right now, somebody type in 7. I want to make sure we have undivided attention before I make this statement right here. Because Satan is slick as hell. Sure he is. And he's still using a weaker vessel. So check this out. Wives, Ishas, Peglesh, concubines, daughters of Zion, sisters. Please hear your pastor when I say this. I'm not going to say anything any different than what the word is saying, but y'all need to hear me. Stop listening to other women preaching, teaching, doing videos, offering advice. Stop listening to every single woman. Because some of you listen to every single woman, take all their advice, but you don't take your husband's. The book didn't tell you that if you're going to learn anything, you're going to learn it from being at home on your computer, on YouTube and Facebook and every other social media expert, and while listening to women. He said you're going to learn from your man. You're going to learn from your husband, the very patriarch, which this society and this spirit is doing its damnedest to erode the very fabric of Yah. Ecclesiastes 7:28 says, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among those I found not. Lo, this only have I found, that Yah have made men upright, but they have sought many inventions. Y'all listen to me, man. I'm trying my damnedest to make sure you men know you're the priest of your home. Well, you got your woman out here prostituting herself to every Dick, Tom, Dick, Harry, Mutt, and Jeff, listening, watching videos, and hearing whatever instructions somebody else got, especially coming from a woman. She's done breach your authority. Take a look at what's really, truly taking place behind the scenes. We're living in a world today. The last great falling away or the reset we had is straightway. Sure, it was orchestrated by a wicked elder that was in this ministry. Sure it was. But more than anything, the reason why a lot of these men fell away is because they're dealing with women who have a doctrine of equality. We live in a patriarchy, not a matriarchy. And this society's patriarchy. And people are confused. They're duped. They're deceived exactly what's really, truly going on. This is the matriarchal ministry right here. And y'all never gave us a democracy. When he said we got equal rights and equal vote. The women has an equal say in the man. And I thought we all going to be like brothers and sisters and we equal in what we say. No, not no, but to hell to the no. Men, it's been high time for you to stop apologizing for bringing forth truth into our lives, your lives. Big time. What did the prophet Isaiah said in 3:12? He said, as for my people, children are their oppressors. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women, what do? Rule over them. See, some of these boogers ain't got a lick of discernment. They're so damn effeminate themselves, so damn deceived. They need to be wearing panties and Kotex. That's what they need to be doing. That's how weak these men are today. They don't even know when a woman is trying to rule because a woman is very manipulative. A woman will do whatever. She'll sit back and study your weak ass and watch you and then inflate your damn ego and make you think you're making a choice and decision and giving the answer when she is done moved heaven and earth, house and home, every single thing in the environment around you for you to come to that conclusion. And she says back, go, that's right, honey, I agree with you. Whatever you say, when it's been her that's been the one that's doing the saying. As for my people, children are their oppressors, women rule over them. Oh, my people, they which lead thee cause you to err and destroy the way of your paths. See, because of this doctrine of equality and feminism, if you have the eyes to see, you're watching women out front, even watch it today. They're out front doing all the talking. They're talking on social media. They're making videos on YouTube. What are the men doing? Co-signing what they say. I saw an abomination on this earth. I saw kings walking beside horses, and then I saw servants on top of them. Effeminate men co-signing for the rhetoric of these rebellious Jezebelic women. You know what? We've always had some similitude of holiness, set apartness, and righteousness that even remind us, even still to this day. We have the Amish. It goes back centuries. Their traditions and their customs, they haven't changed. The Mennonites. Even the Catholics, with some of the most devout women, and especially the nuns. And then you go over to the Arab countries and stuff, and you see the way women carry themselves, and the women are set apart, even in pagan religions in India. And what do women want to do when they get Americanized, westernized and stuff? They want to forget about all that holiness. They want to take the scriptures, twist, warp, and distort because these damn weak, sip, and feminine ass men ain't got no voice against them. You think you are the authority. They let you be the authority at their picking and their choosing. And you just simping right along. That's all you doing. Here's centuries of people that sit right in front of us that with women got their head covered. And women got their dresses on. And then you come over here to America, you get westernized. The first thing you want to do is throw that head covering off, throw that dress on. My husband said I could wear pants. Yeah, this little weak simp ass. He's supposed to say that because he got the skirt on now. He got the panties on now. falling for the same old scam, the same old okie doke. 1 Corinthians 14:34 says, let your women keep silence in the assemblies, for it's not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law. Well, what law says that? Well, let's go over to Numbers chapter 30 here real quick, and let's see what the law says. That's where we get it from, Numbers chapter 30. And guess what it has to do? It has to do with vow and vows. Now, isn't that amazing? Now, let's go down here to where it's talking about verse 6. And if she had an husband when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she was her soul were wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and he held his peace. How many times these women speaking, these husbands sitting back listening as if you hear something profound? Only damn thing profound come from a man out of his mouth. Period. Point blank. You are the priest of your home. You are the patriarch of your family. You are, man. She's designed as the weaker vessel to submit and obey you. That's the way it's supposed to be. But you done set up there and y'all done accepted the role reversal. And that's the reason why today you can't tell a damn man from a woman in this society, because everybody want to cross-pollinate and be what somebody else is. Men need to search their own soul to see what the hell they really truly made of, because many of them, all they want to do is cater to the damn woman, just like Samson did, and end up falling after a great fall. Where you gonna learn? Verse 7, and her husband heard it, held his peace, at her in that day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand. How many of you men sit up there and let these women make vows in your house because you don't believe, well, I ain't got nothing to teach you no more. You ain't got a damn thing to teach you in the first place, so sit down and shut the hell up. Let a real man stand up in front of the congregation and do the teaching. But no, if you're going to disavow that, what if it say in verse 8? But if her husband disavowed her on that day when he heard it, then he shall make her a vow which she vowed, and that she uttered with her lips, wherewith she will bound her soul of none effect, and Yahweh shall forgive her. How is she going to get forgiven? She going to get forgiven because you as a man, you disavowed that foolishness she was doing. And some of you ain't got enough damn sense of gumption to do it. You let her speak. You'll let her push you to the brinks of utter damn destruction. Won't say a damn word, and you will damn your wife's soul to hell. All because you too pussy to damn speak up. Verse 10. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond or an oath, and her husband heard it, and he held his peace at her and disavowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband, see, and this is what we have today, the husband is just letting any damn thing float because you get deceived by soft voices, good words, fair speeches, and you never discern that the devil could be speaking right through your damn wife. But if her husband, verse 8, no, I'm already down. Let me go down here. Verse 11. But if her husband heard it, and he held his peace at her and disavowed it not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherever she had bound her soul shall stand. So guess what? Now we're looking at the total destruction of the family home because of these weak, impotent, and feminine, soft-ass men don't even have enough righteousness in them to know what the word says to disavow a damn vow. As a result, the dang families are being destroyed. Being destroyed because you would rather sit up and listen to, you can't even call it a skirt. It's an it, what it is today. It's a demonic spirit. I'm going to tell you right now, man, you men better learn how to stand. You better learn how to stand hard. Last one I'll give, and I'll turn over to Pastor Mir. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9 from the Amplified. Likewise, I want women to adorn themselves modestly and appropriately, discreetly, and in proper clothing. No. See, today, they fall away from the Hebraic faith. They go out there, first thing they do, put pants on. They call it modesty. And then they'll go and twist, warp, and distort every single meeting to justify their wicked asses. And with some of you, you don't need no pants on with that wicked ass shape y'all got. How in the hell you want to put pants? If you're going to put pants on, at least be proud. Don't put pants on and your ass got a damn shape of a 2x4. Don't damn do that. Damn, at least be proud in your wickedness to be able to draw something. It's just damn crazy. Appropriately, discreet, proper clothing, not with elaborate braided hair or gold or pearls or expensive clothes, but instead adorned by good deeds, helping others, as is proper for women who profess to worship Elohim. A woman must quietly receive instruction with all submissiveness. See, and that's what the deception right there. They come to you with, baby, what you think about this? And you give an answer, then they start giving you their philosophy. And they start giving them soft voices. They look at you attentive like they're really paying attention. And every question is to move you off center. Every single question is to move you off the X. Every question is. So you will finally get wild and agree with them, and you think you made a decision, dumbass. I do not allow a woman to teach nor to exercise authority over a man, but to remain quiet. For Adam was formed first by Yah from the earth, then Eve. It was not Adam that was deceived, but the woman who was led astray fell into sin. But women will be preserved, saved through the pain and the dangers of bearing children, if they will continue in faith and in love and holiness and self-control and discretion. We got none of that nowadays with these wicked ass people. Where's the discretion? Where is it? Where is it? You got the whores women always fighting against the honorable women, the holy women. You got these weak ass men think they own some type of damn steroids. They own some synthetic shit right here. They think they own something powerful and stuff, and then they end up becoming overcome because they don't know what's written in the playbook that is don't change from old. Henceforth, your question from the beginning, now you're seeing the difference and knowing the difference between righteous and nice. Ain't a damn thing nice about me. I'm righteous. Period, point blank. Because I'm going to declare the law of Yahweh Elohim. And I'm going to shout it to the rooftop. And I'm going to cry loud and spare not and lift up my voice like a trumpet. I don't give a damn if Jezebel don't like it or not. That's where we at today. And people, you keep forgetting that there's nothing new under the sun. The thing that was, it shall be again. And when you see these things keep coming in your backyard over and over and over again, you sit up here trying to have a damn tater fest. When it's cut and dry. It ain't that damn hard. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as unto Yahweh. How hard is that? All right. Let me get my blood pressure down here for a second. Pastor, come on in. Let me get this blood pressure down. I'm about to blow a top over here now.
Oh, hey. You know what's happening right now, right? It's two things that's happening right now, Shep. Here go number one. If a man sees himself, and this is what he need to guard himself against, but if he see himself and he hears this and he acts out in this, first thing he gonna do is go home and get to screaming and hollering. Which that ain't never smart to do. Because it's you the one that failed. And then I'm gonna tell you the main thing that happens. Here goes the main thing. And the thing is, I'm getting ready to say, you know that what I'm getting ready to say, it's gonna piss them off. You wanna know why? Because they know it's the truth. Here's what happens. The other thing that happens is they hear this, and the first thing they do is they grow all these muscles and this toughness against every other man. I'm talking about double and triple time. They grow all this toughness and boldness against every other man, especially the one that is speaking against this wickedness, rather than their wife. Because that's the only way that they can show some type of what they may deem as masculinity at that point. You know how many times I done seen this? You can get on a brother about his wife or what she's doing, and all of a sudden he'll buck up with you.
Yeah.
And he'll grow tough with you, but won't do nothing to this woman. Won't correct her in nothing. How many times we done seen that? And you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. You see? This whole thing, man, goes back to Genesis 3. Every bit of it. Look what the serpent told her. You shall not surely die. For Elohim doth know that in the day you eat thereof, that your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as Elohim, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and also gave unto her husband with her, and he did eat. It all goes back to that. There goes your equality. There goes your thirst to be equal with men. Not realizing that the minute you make yourself equal, you come out from underneath your protection. There's no more protection at that point. Look at the society we live in. It tells a woman they can do anything a man can do. Where you can be blind and deaf and be able to see and hear that that's foolishness. But that's the society that we live in. I want you to go to Ecclesiastes. Look at watch when you hear this in the Amplified. Chapter 7, verse 26. Go ahead.
And I discovered that of all irrational sins, none has been so destructive in beguiling one away from Yah as immoral women. For more bitter than death is the woman whose heart is composed of snares and nets, and whose hands are chains. Whoever pleases Yah will escape from her, but the sinner will be taken captive by her evil.
You see that? You see that? Ecclesiastes 7:26 and Amplified. Let's just be honest. This is what this really is, man. Because I wrote it down here. Nice versus being righteous. When you're nice, you're going to pervert judgment. You're going to take bribes. That's what you'll do. Every single time. But if you're righteous, people can be saved. You're not going to be liked in a lot of spaces because you're going to come against wickedness. Come on, man. This is why I don't understand. Everybody say they want to be a pastor and a preacher. I read this book. Don't nobody want to be no pastor, no preacher, no prophet, no apostle. Don't nobody want to be that when you read about these men's lives. You see? Why? Because you're not going to be liked. Because you are charged to live righteously. And folk don't want that. Especially some of these women that you see out here. They don't want to be told that. That's just the flat out truth. But you can be nice and continue to pervert judgment and continue to take bribes because that's exactly what's taking place. Watch this. Read Exodus 23:8. Listen, watch this.
And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise and perverts the words of the righteous.
So what about when your wife, and you know something's wrong, but she guarantee you a little nookie later if you agree with her? What about when that happens? And tell me that don't happen. Because they know exactly what you want. One man is tough enough to stand on it and say, nope, I'm going to do what this word say. Rather than enjoy this pleasure for a little bit of time. You see? And we see that all the time. You constantly see, I'll get in line if he, I'll submit if he. So now your obedience is conditional. No, you're going to take bribes. You're going to pervert judgment. And what does it pervert the words of? The righteous. They're going to be nice versus righteous. You're going to pervert judgment. And you're going to take bribes. Deuteronomy 16:19.
Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift. For a gift does blind the eyes of the wise and perverts the words of the righteous.
It perverts the words of the who?
Righteous.
The righteous. Proverbs 17:23. I love what Pastor said. He said, women will sit around and inflate your ego. You matter of fact, read this first, and then we'll get to that. Go ahead.
A wicked man takes a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment.
You see that? A wicked man. So when you see a video where Pastor say being nice, a nice man is a wicked man, it's the truth. Because that wicked man is not going to uphold judgment. Thereby showing you that he has been coerced. He's been bribed. He has taken gifts out of bosoms. And he's going to turn around. He's going to pervert the words of the righteous. Come on, man. Can you imagine what preacher, because I ain't heard one, and y'all can tell me if I'm lying. I have not heard a preacher in the United States of America from as long as I have been alive for 42 years ever preach Numbers chapter 30. Never. That's a bold statement. You gonna tell me I heard it? Because I ain't never heard it. I've never heard a preacher preach Numbers 30. Tell your passing preachers and them to go preach Numbers 30 on first day when you go to church. That'll be the end of that church that day. Can you imagine standing up telling these women, hey, you can say and vow and say what you're going to do all you want, but your husband has the power to cancel it before Yah and man. And you are charged to obey and listen to him. Well, they'll cut a fool, won't they? But the thing that gets me is when you look at the order and the role of things, what if your children was to act like that?
Come on, it's unacceptable, man.
It'd be unacceptable. If your sons and daughters will act that way, Pastor said it. Women will inflate your ego. You know how they'll do that? They'll be in habitual disobedience, but then at the same token, turn around and rave about what great of a man you are as long as they get in their way. You know how many times I've seen this? As long as they get in their way, and you can be as wicked and as nice as you want to be, as long as they get in their way, guess what? You the greatest man on earth. You can cheat, rob, pervert, do just wickedness, and they'll talk about how great you are. But the minute you stand up for righteousness and do what's right, now all of a sudden they start kicking. The compliment stops. The Thanksgiving stops. The countenance drops. You know, before when you're doing something and oh man, you're just a good man, you're a good husband. I thank the Most High Yah for you. But as soon as that correction comes, all that got thrown out the window, didn't it? It was as if it was never said. As soon as you decide to not pervert judgment, take bribes and stand on righteousness. I said it and I'm going to say it again. A nice man is a man that will pervert judgment and take bribes. And he pervert the words of the righteous. Hallelujah.
Well, I'm also going to tell you this. Y'all ready for this? A woman will never, ever lead a man to salvation. Only a man can do that. Ooh, I just said a mouthful. Ooh, I just said a mouthful. Y'all don't feel that quickly in that word?
Come on. Come on. I was getting ready to read something right here.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine? Now, let's just be honest. Men and women. Let's just be honest. You see, that's a problem we have in this generation. Don't nobody want to be honest. Don't nobody just want to say it what it is. I thank the Most High for his wisdom. Can you imagine? Look what the word say. 3 times in a year shall all males appear before Yahweh, thy Elohim, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before Yah empty. Can you imagine if that was a verse to tell you that all women shall appear? You know the work that got to go through before Passover and unleavened bread to get your heart right? Can you imagine? It'd be over with. Paul told you about not taking the Passover unworthy, discerning the master body, making sure ain't no malice in you. And then a man is there to cover his house. Can you imagine if it was a woman that had to do that? Let's just be honest. One day you're up, next minute you're down. One day you're smiling, one day you're frowning. Don't nobody know what the hell wrong with you. And the worst thing you can do is, what's wrong with you? I'm telling you, man, this is Satan. Who did Eve speak to in the garden? Did she speak to a demon? Who she speak to? Satan. He came straight to her. And y'all think that it stopped today. Satan coming straight to y'all doing the same damn thing. And some of y'all sitting there listening to this mess. But it takes a righteous man, not a nice one, a righteous man to be able to stand up and say, no, I see the devil. How do I know that? Jesus Messiah saw the devil sitting there right there on Peter.
Go ahead.
Didn't he rebuke him? And this was right after he just told Peter that man didn't reveal this to him. But Yahweh did.
Go ahead.
And then he turned around and tell him, get behind me, Satan.
Go ahead.
He sees Satan. Now I'll go to the death with you. I'll do this. I'll do 3 times. Hey, 3 times before the cock crow.
Say it.
You gonna deny me? I would never. Oh, really? Imagine you say that today in the household. Why you always doubting me? You speaking death. You speaking over me in a way you're not there to encourage me, nigga. Because I know you. How hard is that? I keep trying to tell y'all, we over spiritualize things a lot of times. When you read the book and you read Jesus Messiah make the statement, and you read it many times, he makes this statement, and you read it, and Jesus, knowing what was in their thoughts, and we'll turn around and read it as if y'all don't give you the same discernment, and you don't know what's in your women's heart when you got the Holy Spirit. You can't answer for me. Bullshit. Yeah, I can. Number one, I'm supposed to. And number two, I can discern what you're dealing with. I know what's in your thoughts. Now you're saying you're Jesus. No, I'm not. But I got a spirit. I mean, this stuff is not hard, man. The way of the transgressor is hard, man. And if you habitually in transgression, that's why it's hard. That's why you can't handle peace. That's why you're loaded up with all this rejection. You're loaded up with all these spirits. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You can't get no damn consistency. You see? And a nice man don't love you. A nice man is going to let you go right off into what you want to do. When the book tell me that corrections and reproof are a way of life.
What you saying?
You see? Man, Shep, you done started something. Shep, this is your fault because you made that statement. It's the truth. Can you imagine if they had to lead us? It'd be over with. Exodus 18:21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all these people able men, such as fear Yah, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds and rulers of fifties and rulers of tens. Men. Can you believe we live in such a toxic, toe-up society that we got that we got to walk around and tell a man, I'm a man. You got to walk around nowadays and tell folk you a man. They actually have debates and talk shows and YouTubes and all of this discussing why women are not equal to men. Are you serious? This is the day and age we live in. I was looking on my own. Huh?
Bullshit. Faith, come out here.
Man, come on, Chip. Come on, Chip. You see how the words just keep coming? That's because it's written on the heart. Oh, man, Chip, we could talk about this for 3-4 days.
Well, we got about 9 more minutes, and we're going to top it out, and we're going to send it to the door.
Hallelujah.
We'll send it to the door because so people don't understand. How do you know? How are you able to discern? Well, what does damn Hebrews 13:17 say about the shepherd? See, they want to try to remove everything that the book said about what Yah is the one who ordained and put in order. They want to remove that all out of the way. And it says, obey them and have a rule over you and submit yourself, for they watch for your souls, and they must give an account that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for it is unprofitable unto you. Go ahead, live your life. Don't obey your shepherd that God put in front of you, even though he told you, I'm going to give you shepherds. And they're going to be according to my heart. Well, I don't like your heart, Jesus. Good. It don't make no difference. I'm going to give you shepherds, righteous Israel. They'll be according to my heart, and they're going to feed you with knowledge, and they're going to feed you with understanding. That's what they're going to do. Well, we got a shithead, and that's what these, let me get my camera back if I got to do my hand like that. So this is what's going on. I don't want everybody to listen to me. Women have never, ever stopped in their quest in trying to be the head of the man's home. And they won't stop. They will not stop until they finally see themselves for what the master shows them. Where does identity come from? Where does the spirit come from? Isaiah 14:12 says, "How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, that is the weakest of nations? For you have said in your heart, I will ascend unto the Shemaim or the heavens, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, and I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, and I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like equality, the Most High. Yet, you're going to be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. And they that see you will narrowly look upon you and consider and say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? that shook the kingdoms and made the world a wilderness and destroyed cities thereof and opened up the houses of prisoners, kings and nations of all of them in the line of glory, every one of his own house? Let me end this on this. Listen, I am doing my damnedest, and it's become increasingly challenged as I add more to my house. And it's become increasingly challenged as I add more to my house. And I'm not saying because the addition is because I discern and see the level of wickedness that is not only in myself, but in all of us. I don't give a damn if you've been around 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year. If it wasn't for y'all's mercy, they didn't even send us through these experiences to be able to see it. Listen, I know what salvation is. And not only am I trying to make sure that my house has salvation before my time is up, I want to make sure that they're able to teach them to my children's children after I'm gone. This is how locked in and laser focused I am. I have zero tolerance for foolishness when it comes to patriarchy and authority in this house. I have zero. I already know what's it. The shitbag has been trying to usurp every damn household in every kingdom from the beginning. You think he's going to stop in his quest and he's going to create a whole new paradigm? Oh, I'm not going to use the woman no more. I'm going to come up with something new. Bullshit. Pastor Muir.
Shep, I ain't got nothing else because I'm telling you right now, if I get to talking about this again, we're going to be going off in the 10, 12 o'clock, and I ain't got no. There's nothing else to be said. Oh, boy. Look what he just read. That's the same thing Satan tempted the woman with, equality. The same thing that he wanted. When David said, great is Ayah, greatly to be praised. In the city of Ayah, and in the mountain of his holiness. You see? He said that the city on the sides of the north is the city of the great king. But here's Satan say he want to ascend to this. And he turned around and did the same thing.
That's what he said.
If y'all can't see this, I'm telling you, you better not listen to them damn demons. Them damn spirits that come to you that want to tell you they hate me. They this. I realize some of y'all already too far gone.
Hey.
Trust me, I get it. Some of y'all do not need a physician. You got it figured out. So go on about your bad self. You got it all figured out. But for the ones that will listen and understand, don't get offended. Don't start listening to them voices come to your mind. Why they got to get on the woman? No, this is for your soul salvation, because if you don't understand, Satan hates you. And he put righteous men in front of you that's trying to save your soul alive. In the name of Jesus. I'm done.
I thank the Father I know the word because it helps keeps me sanctified. It helps keeps me straight. It rebukes the hell out of me. It corrects me. It instructs me. It leads me. It guides me. I thank the Father for Jesus. I do. And I'm glad that my mind doesn't run after its own constitution after all these years. Glory to the King. Michael Israel.
Man, it's a good show. It definitely delivered.
Hey, let me reiterate this. Listen, women, wives, Ishas, Peglish, concubines, daughters, under authority. Stop this listening to damn women on YouTube, Facebook. Listen to your head. Because they ain't going to save you, and they cannot ever save you with their word. Listen to your head that is created in the image of Yah. I had to put that in there, man. I'm sorry, Micro is right. I had to double down.
That's good. Yeah, it definitely delivered on the title, Biblical Masculinity, Ask the Elect. That was a good title for today. It was right on point. It's just been an awesome show. Definitely gonna be something that I recommend all y'all rewatch and take notes. But with that said, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Appreciate all y'all tuning in. You're watching Ask the Elect on Hold Fast Wednesday. And with that said, shalom, shalom.
You give me joy, 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 joy. You give me joy, joy, down in my soul. You make me whole. You give me joy, 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 joy. You give me joy, joy, down in my soul. You make me whole. And new brother, I'm saying new to the end. I'm saying new brother. I'm saying new brother. I'm saying new brother. I'm saying no to the end. I'm saying no, brother. I'm saying no, brother. You give me joy, 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 joy. You give me joy, joy, down in my soul. You made me whole. You give me joy, 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 joy.